right, guys, we're here today in Miami. We're here with Captain Nick Valenti.
How's it going, y'all?
Thank you for having us, by the way. We're on a 43-foot Freeman that has our Hooker electric systems in here. It's got a lot of cool features on this boat. We're gonna do a little walkthrough of everything and get a little running action today on the boat. So overall, with your experience so far using our Hooker electric systems, I know you said you have it on your 80-foot Viking, obviously here on your 43 Freeman. Just give us a little rundown on your experiences with our Hooker systems.
For us, it was a game changer. Being able to increase flow when we're running, to pressurize the tanks without having to mess around with valves at all, was definitely one of the reasons why we moved to it. And then when we built this boat, we were trying to do a lot with it electrically, where we didn't want a generator. So being able to have one pump basically run 6 live wells full blast and not have a generator, not have the amp draw either, to where we end up needing that generator, was just totally a game changer for us and the reason why we turned to Hooker.
Looking over here on this dash right here, we got pump 1, pump 2, pump 3, pump 4. You can control all 4 pumps with the flick of the variable flow switch right here. Right now, he has all of his live wells running off pump number 2. This pump is basically running 100%. He's running 6 different live wells all at once right now. So right now, we actually have 6 live wells running all at once. We have floor live well on starboard side, floor live well on port side. You got your 2 transom live wells. We actually just came out with this really cool goggle eye tube that he filled that void with. Port side, he has just another pitch bait well going right now with a few goggle eyes and pilchards. So if you take a look here, this is our custom goggle eye tuna tube system. Captain Nick actually came to our shop and wanted something very custom for this unique Freeman. He actually worked with us in creating this design. And as you can see, you put your live baits inside the tubes. He's got 6, 3 on either side. He likes to do a lot of live bait fishing, obviously, in the Bahamas, offshore here in Miami. So using these custom goggle eye tubes, what's nice about them is you can put 6 live baits in here without having to worry about a tangled mess. It keeps the baits nice and frisky. When you get to your spot, you just shoot them right out the back of the boat and you're fishing. So I just wanted to pick your brain a little bit, Nick, and see exactly why you came to us for this, this idea that you had.
Well, originally we had these little pitch bait wells. And the idea is like when we're kite fishing or we're live baiting for tuna, we could throw a bait in there and leave it rigged and ready to go. So when we show up, you know, on a hot school, we could pitch a bait to them really, really fast, not sitting around trying to bridle stuff. And the problem we kept having is, even with one bait in the well, they were like tying knots, like the craziest things that we've ever seen. And so, you know, when I walked into Hooker and I saw this setup, I just knew that it was going to be perfect for the application I was trying to use by having the baits pre-bridled and ready to go. So once we put this in here, it's like we don't even use this anymore. This thing's a trash can now. We use this for a trash can. You know, we usually have like thread fins and gogs and then black these out with pilchards. Now, like when we're kite fishing, if we want to leave an area and run 10 miles, we can have all 6 kite baits ready to go. You know, everybody can help, even if they don't know how to bridle a bait. And when we show up to a spot, even if it's like, hey, we need to get this ready right now because these fish are right here, it's just pulling them out and you're ready to go. We'll run 60, 70 miles an hour for an hour, and these things will just be in there, and they'll look like catatonic, like almost dead. And when we go to pull them out, they're lively and frisky and just ready to be fished immediately. It's super cool. You don't have to worry about anything getting tangled. It's definitely a game changer for us.
So looking down here in this spotless bilge, starboard side of this cat, it's typical that we usually always have starboard sea chest, port side sea chest. This one is a custom powder coated blue, basically to match the color of the boat. He's got 2 4500 pumps down here. Like I said before, he has 4 pumps on this boat. Only one of them are running all of his systems. He's got it to where each manifold is plumbed together essentially, and he can valve off whatever systems needed for running that day. So people ask me this question all the time. Why go with Hooker electric pumps and not the other brands? Well, a nice thing about our pumps, you notice a lot of other sea chests that come standard on boats, all their pumps are submerged inside the sea chest. So you gotta take all these bolts off, you gotta undo the hosing at the top for the breather valve, You gotta undo the wiring through the sea chest itself. It's just a pain. Our pumps are nice because they're mounted on the outside, as well as their cartridge fittings. So basically all you gotta do is disconnect the wiring, take that cartridge, unscrew it from the housing, turn off the valves so you don't let water inside the boat, send it on off for service, and we'll have it right back to you. Another very popular question I get asked all the time are what's the amperage draw on all of our pumps? So starting at our smallest pump, the 2500, at max draw on 12 volt, you're gonna be pulling 10 amps of power. The 4500, at max draw 30 amps. And then you go on up to the big guy, the 7500 gallon per hour, you're gonna be pulling about 40 amps at full load. Now this drastically changes once you convert it over to 110 AC power or 220 AC power. Then you're gonna be pulling a lot less amount of amperage draw. So on top of him running all 6 wells at the transom of the boat, come up here to the bow of the boat, he's got another pitch well up here. This one, just a flip of a valve, you can have all that water diverted from that sea chest in the stern all the way up here to the pitch bait well in the bow. As right now, he's trying to catch a fish while we're doing this video. Another very common question I get asked about our pumps are our pumps pressurized? To answer that question, no, they're not pressurized pump. They're actually a centrifugal pump, which basically means they're gravity fed. These pumps need to be installed below water level, as low as possible, and this will give you applicable amount of water fed to these pumps. They will certainly move a lot of water for you. So we're gonna take a look down here at Nick's manifold that he has set up. What's really interesting about it is he has all of his wells plumbed directly to this manifold coming off of the pumps. So therefore you can valve off pump 1, pump 2. What he did, which is really unique for the catamarans, is he actually has a 1.5 inch hose feeding from the other manifold. So essentially he conjoined both of his port side, starboard side manifolds and made them into one. So this is why he's able to run all 6 of his systems off of a single pump. Usually on catamarans, you have to have 2 separate manifolds where you can only run each system starboard side, port side. So this is really cool what he did. All right guys, I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of this beautiful 43-foot Freeman. Nick, thank you for having us.
You're welcome.
Been an awesome host. Hopefully I answered all your questions, and we'll get to see you again shortly in another video.